So I wanted to come on here and make another video about what has been given to me since opening up and studying Islam and reading the Quran. So I had an acquaintance that would always post anti-Muslim stuff, anti-Islam, this and that and the other, with a lot of the same talking points, a lot of, misinformed, things that, people say to kind of discredit Islam because they aren't really educated about it and they don't research it. They just listen to what someone else says and it's like, that's horrible. So now I believe it. Anyways, so I'm going in and researching that. So the oneness of Allah is one of the biggest things that I've come to know about the nature of the Father, because I was Christian since I was a youth. Like growing up, I grew up in a church. I was Southern Baptist, and then I left the faith, and then came back, and came into the Restored Name movement on there, the Yehovah groups and everything, and then coming out of that because my acquaintance, he blocked me for saying, oh, I'm going to read the Quran and see exactly what it says so that I can be informed. And he's like, you're disgusting. I can't even talk to you, honestly. So I hope that he's doing well wherever he is. So modesty. I even as a Christian, I didn't really dress. I didn't dress scantily, but I definitely still wore the low cut dresses. I never wore makeup or anything, but I did struggle with my hair, and wearing the hijab. It's not just it's not just this. It's covering the body. So I'm not really paying attention to the style of my clothes, the style of my hair, how my hair looks, because I don't have to worry about that. And that's just less for, the materialistic, society, like companies to sell me stuff. So I don't get down about my hair. I used to dye my hair a lot, but there's no use in it doing it now. And then the clothing aspect of it, I have a really baggy t-shirt right now, but usually when I go out, I'll have a cloak kind of thing. It's like an over cover thing. So it covers like all the way down to like a little bit past my knees, and I pin it, so I don't have to really worry about that. I wear dresses now more. When I was Christian, dressing didn't really, I dressed modestly, but anyway, so courage to wear the hijab. So it does take courage, especially in the town that I'm in. I'm in Mississippi, and I'm in a small town in Mississippi. I'm not in a city, and it. Christianity is the dominant religion here, and it's a specific brand of Christianity. It's like Southern Baptist, or they're very prideful about their Christian faith, and I haven't experienced any any hatred, but I do know that people are like looking at me, and then especially when I start talking, I have the Southern accent, and and I don't know, but you do have to have courage to wear it, because I do kind of get scared when I go outside with it, especially when I go into like the small town establishments that are very openly proud Christian. And it's not so much because they're Christian, it's because of the misinformation that they hear or read about online, and then they'll internalize that, and then they'll look at me like, oh, you're oppressed, or oh, you've abandoned Jesus, or stuff like that. So they haven't really read the Quran at all, and I hope that one day that they'll pick it up and kind of try to get out of that mold. So that, to the next point, breaking the mind mold of anti-Islamic propaganda. So since 2001, anti-Islamic propaganda has been kind of interweaved into, society. It's been weaved into movies, pop culture. I grew up and I was watching Family Guy, and they would poke at Islam all the time. I wouldn't say poke at, I would say blatantly like misrepresent it. And then you have the movies about war and everything, and it just I don't know. As America, it's like they are tied, like against that oppression of women, right? But people fail to understand that women in America are oppressed, and in the way that, we're conscious, we're self-conscious all the time, about how we look, and our value is in how we look. And women's bodies are used to sold products, from cars all the way down to razors. And that's something else that I've stopped doing is shaving, because in the Bible, when I was still in the restored names movement kind of thing, which I still kind of am, but not like I was, it says, do not do as the other nations do, and I know that people are going to say, oh, they was talking about worshiping and everything, and it's like, no, it's revealed to me that shaving, right, removing the body hair, that's a Mitzrite thing, that's an Egyptian thing, right? It's a pagan thing, and when you remove that hair, it's like, I growing up, I was always sick, and I stopped shaving about a year ago, like my arm, everything. I don't shave at all, and I haven't gotten sick. Like, I haven't gotten sick like I used to. I used to catch everything that my son would get sick with, I would get sick with. So breaking out of that mind mold, it's really hard to, I at first, it's like saying the name Allah Allahu Akbar is, it's synonymous. They've made it synonymous with terrorism, and that's sad. So it's like a mind brainwashing kind of thing that you have to kind of push to the side and actually understand what the language means. And it just means Allah is the greatest. And in the Quran, it's saying that, whether they be Jews or Christians, if they, I'm paraphrasing, if they have a relationship with the one, Allah, God, right, then they will enjoy the reward with their Creator, with their, with their Lord. So, and it repeatedly in the Quran says that Allah hasn't made them believe. So why should it be inferred that Muslims should make them believe by the sword? That's completely ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So the love of the Father, over and over and over and over and over again in the Quran, it says Allah is great protector, ever merciful, all-knowing, all-wise. It's at the, they're almost like commas, in English, it's just a signature on it. So now I have to talk about what I believe Islam is and what it isn't. So the narrow path that few will find, and I hope that I'm finding it, because I know I have issues too, but Islam is not going to mosque. Islam is not putting on a headscarf. while being nasty to other people. Islam is not a collection of ritualistic prayers that you do throughout the day. Islam is not professing one prophet over the other prophets. Islam is submission to the one God, to Allah, to the Father, whatever the name that you call. So that's what I want to do really quick, is just get on here and say that. And there'll be a lot of Muslims that get upset with me for saying that I don't. If you read Exodus chapter 20 all the way at the bottom, I think it's verse 23, it says that, to build an altar of uncut stone for me. And the reason it says is that if you chisel it with a tool, you've profaned it. Why? Because the Father already made it. He already made the stone the way that it is. And if you do that, if you think about it, the mosques and the temples should not exist. Oh, it's going to be backwards. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I pulled it up so that I wouldn't misquote it. And it says, "And if you make me an altar of stone, do not build it out of cut stone, for if you use your chisel on it, you've profaned it." So these mosques are very beautiful. Temples are very beautiful. Churches are very beautiful. But the Father never commanded us to build it. Also, Isaiah 66. Isaiah 66 also says, "Thus says the Father, Allah, the Shemayim, or the heavens, are my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where is this house that you build for me? Where is this my place of rest? And all these my hand has made, and all these exist, declares the Father. Yet to such a one I look, on him who is poor and bruised of spirit, who trembles at my word." So if you want to go back and get the context, you can read the whole entire thing of Isaiah. But right here it's saying, why are you building me a house? The heavens are my throne. The earth is my footstool. It can't contain him. And so down at the bottom it says, this is verse 2. Isaiah chapter 66 verse 2, it says, "And all these my hand has made." And then it goes on to say in verse 3, it says, "Whoever slaughters a bull slays a man. Whoever slaughters a lamb breaks a dog's neck. Whoever brings a grain offering, pig's blood. Whoever burns an incense block, an idol," or praise an idol. "Indeed, they have chosen their own ways, and their being delights in their abominations." So these ritualistic slaughters of animals, never commanded. And it's like everybody says, yeah, but the Torah says. I know what the Torah says. I know what the written Torah says. And then I know what the Torah that the Father places on your heart says. And if you wanted to go back and read that, you can. And people don't want to hear it when I say it. Well, I don't say people. Most people are kind of like, but really, And I said, yeah, really. But anyways, y'all have a good day. May Allah bless everyone, and that we learn our lessons quickly.